I am Pibble. Wash my belly. Wash my belly. Clean my belly.
Hey, it's Gortron. I got an interesting video from the 1v1 league that I played recently. A Gingy mirror match. It's against PBara. He's pretty active. I think he's on Team Arctic Wolves in Polychamps. He's a pretty solid player. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little game review of this. Nothing too crazy. Pretty standard Gingy spawn. Well, honestly, kind of a crud Gingy spawn. If you don't know about resource indicators, anytime Gingy has a mountain without any metal on it, it means there is not a village on the surrounding tiles. So I really only have one direction to expand to because this mountain tells me that there's no village here, even though there's a horse indicator, an animal indicator. So I believe I just go like classic double warrior. Oh, that's cool that it still shows that. Just like a classic double warrior opening. No villages close to me. PBara's got a little bit of a better spawn. He's the pink Gingy, I'm red Gingy. He's gonna have a city over here. This resource indicator here probably tells him, oh, there's probably a village right here. So I believe he also just does a very classic double warrior opening, and then he actually spots two villages right off the start. And if we see here, I can't spot anything yet, but yeah, he's got his two suburbs. They're right next to each other. They're going to be connected. It's going to mean that he's going to have really powerful forages in this early game. You know, the level 3 forage right here, the level 2 forage right here. It's going to be very hard for me to beat, given that I have... I could have a decent spawn. I have a level 2 forage in capital. That's always good to see, but yeah. And so now I step on the city, and this is a good sign. You know, I got all these different cities, but if you'll see here, none of them are actually my capital suburbs. Of course, on dry lands, you're not guaranteed suburbs like you are in the water type maps. So just this loss in tempo, you know, his cities are all one tile closer. It means he's going to get his economy set up faster. And he's going to be able to defend his center cities a lot easier than I am this game, just off of the location. So I set my warrior off over here. He's targeting this village right here, but I'm going to want to step on the mountain just so I can get a lot of village, maybe spot some ruins, spot some later villages to move to. And I'm honestly just like, my spawn's so bad here, I'm just going to try to gambit for the middle. In the 1v1 league, there's a bonus rule that if you meet your opponent before turn 3 or by turn 3, you can then bonus. There's no like classic Polychamps bonuses. So this is kind of the spawn I'm stuck with. So I'm hoping to maybe meet him in the middle, or if I don't meet him in the middle, just be able to claim this center city right away and possibly just choke him out for the rest of the game. It's a very standard move by PBara here, just kind of moving out, getting into position. Same thing as what I'm doing right here. I have good villages, right? But none of them are close to my capital. You know, they're all very far. It's all just very difficult to spread to. And then I'm looking here. I chose hunting as my first technology, and the reason is it allows me to upgrade my capital to a workshop on turn 2 instead of turn 3, like you typically see with Gingy going mining. And the other reason is I saw, okay, there's an animal here, there's an animal here. I'm going for both of these cities. I don't see any mountains on these cities yet, so I'm feeling like it's pretty likely that I'm actually going to get some a second animal in these cities. And worst case scenario, if there is no animals, I can just expand into forestry and get the chops on that. The main reason I didn't go mining here, right? Mining's good, but like it's only really good when you have those connected forage spots, like you see with like PBara spawn. Like PBara. Actually, wait. I think I could just click this. Yeah. There's that. Mission One added all these hotkeys for like. Yeah. Let me turn on the shared fog here. I'll just do this until we start meeting up. Then we can go back to isolated views. Like you definitely want to go mining here, just because with these connected forage spots. Oh my God! Look at that disgusting village. Level 4 forage right next to a level 3 forage right next to a level 2. It gives you just so much population, and I don't, since my cities are like all separated by a tile off of my capital, my cities aren't going to be able to share forages with each other, which just means that Smithery is just like, if Smithery alone doesn't guarantee you giants, it's just kind of a hard, it's usually better just to go for like one of the lower techs, I'd argue. So we're going to go back to single views here. Yeah, just very standard stuff. Did this actually switch? Oh my god, I don't like that. Let me go back to like this. So get on my middle villages. I train a third warrior here, just so I have the pop free since I took hunting. He's going to go up. I believe he's going to actually go west and grab this city here. I just want to get as much center control, just because I'm going to be behind on economy to my opponent. I'm not going for a Giants game because I figured I'm going to be behind on eco. So if I just go Giants to counter my opponent's Giants, I'm just going to get overwhelmed and beat here. And so PBara, of course, takes mining. He only has 2 warriors out right now, just because that's what happens when you take mining. You're behind a turn on that workshop. So he doesn't have the pop cap for it. And it is better to get it's totally better to get the workshop right away instead of going warrior. Because if you go warrior here, then you can't workshop on this. You always want to get the double workshop on your capital and then your C2 if you want to be able to, like, it just gives you a lot of good mid-game control where it's like you're able to just get your economy set up. So here's where this game goes. Here in this position, I'm looking at the score. I'm like, oh god, my opponent has his cities. He has his cities, and he has them upgraded. Right? He took workshops in both. He's taking workshops in both of his cities, so he's definitely going mining. I'm like, all right. I could either go writing here, right? Writing's typically the technology you want to think of when you want to, like, take control over the entire board. But I'm looking at my position, and writers are just kind of blocked by all these forests, right? Like, if I want to go writers here, they're blocked going this way. I mean, they're fine over here, but if I'm spawning writers in capital, they take too long, right? A writer going from capital to defend these center cities is got to go 1, 2, and then, yeah, so it takes 1, 2 turns. So I go something a little crazy. I go archery as my second tech, just because I haven't captured any cities yet, so archery still only costs 6 stars. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to utilize the defense bonus right here. I'm going to train up some archers, and I'm going to use that to take care of all of his defense-boosted warriors and just try to gain as much center control as I possibly can. And so, yeah, I am beating him to the center. He's not able to knock me here. So it's going to be me really fighting for all these cities in the middle. So PBara doesn't quite see me yet. Let me get from... Is there a way? Let me see if I can find, like, the auto button. Because I can go like that, right? And then that changes it to his POV. I go like that, changes it to that POV. Because, like, that, make it auto? It doesn't. Maybe 0 makes it auto. 0 does make it auto. Okay, cool. And so I go. This is so sad. I just have the single. I have the single horse on the city, which means the Ligu is just gonna be unable. I'm gonna be unable to upgrade Ligu for a little while. So I'm just gonna be totally behind on economy, at least for this early game. And so it's gonna be a real fight where it's like, okay, are my archers going to be enough to, like, upset the eco disadvantage since my opponent's just gonna be a lot richer than me. Grab archery, grab the city. Pass to my opponent. Does he go explorer here? No, he goes workshop. I agree with that. I'd totally go workshop here. You don't really need explorers. I mean, okay, let's see what the score is. Because if I'm at 1500, it might have been better for my opponent. Take explorer here, right? This explorer is 100% landing on this mountain, which is going to give you all of these tiles to see. And it means that the explorer is very likely to explore into your opponent. Just go down middle, which will give you A, good vision, but B, it'll give you that 5-star bonus, which will let you immediately get into the second forge. So even though you're taking an explorer here, it usually offsets its star disadvantage by allowing you to just jumpstart your economy in other places. So a little miss by PBara, nothing too crazy. I mean, maybe if he goes workshop anyways, it'll be fine. That's also just like a valid method. So I'm desperately trying to get my economy up. I'm like, okay, my opponent definitely has double workshop. He doesn't have the explorer change. I wasn't score counting in this game. I wasn't taking it this seriously at this point. Probably should have been, but season was going on. I didn't really want this to take away from my season gameplay. I take an explorer here thinking, okay, there's a decent chance it goes down middle. Either my opponent's here or my opponent's down south. Unfortunately, my explorer immediately goes backwards. Not what you want to see at all. I was so disappointed by that. And that's just like kind of like a total mistake. I mean, I could have gone, it would have been safer to go workshop, but it's not the worst. You know, I get this vision. I'm like, okay, so my opponent's definitely in the south. Is pretty much what this vision gleaned me. And I also got this nice rune to play for, and I'm also spotting, like, okay, we got 2 metal mountains over here. That means it's very likely that there's a village here. So I'm going to be, it's going to allow me, this Explorer does allow me to sort of shape my gameplay to be like, okay, let's get these archers out and totally play for these center villages. Because I know my opponent isn't on that village yet, just because he doesn't have the borders up. And so he meets me, PBara meets me, gets that 5 stars, gets 5 stars on his city. Now he goes for the Explorer. Very good Explorer, gets perfect vision on me. So just for the rest of this game, he's just going to have total and complete vision over pretty much everything I'm doing, which is a total pain. So I do meet my opponent here too, and so that gives me the 5 stars. So I go from 8 stars up to 13. I believe I go... In this position, it's just kind of very difficult to like figure out what I'm going to do. I'm like, okay, I definitely want to train 2 archers, definitely want to like be able to put some pressure on the city, but I also really want to upgrade Ligu. And so I'm looking at my position here. It's like back in the day with Vengir, you had so many forests. I still got this kind of seed in my mind from the chop meta. Oh my god, my throat. 1 second. Oh my god, I always forget how talking very fast makes my throat so raspy. Luckily I brought some tea, so that'll help me out a little bit. Back in the day in the chop meta, that's kind of when I first, back in like 2021, I wasn't involved in poly champs at all, but I dabbled my foot a little bit in like poly mains competitive scene. That was back when you could chop force for 2 stars. It always kind of left the seed in me. It's like, okay, if you take forestry, you do just gain access to an amount of stars equal to the amount of forest you have. Like, you can just chop everything and get a lot of stars. Of course, when you do that, you completely kill your late game prospects, right? You kill all your chance of getting giants. But if it jumpstarts you enough to actually get an army set up, it can be like really good to upset your opponent. I don't actually go forestry this turn. I think that's actually a miss on my part, because I do end up chopping all these forests anyways. If I was playing a little smarter, probably would have gone, okay, we're going to take forestry, go down to 3 stars. Oh, maybe I did count this, because then I have to chop twice, then I go like 5, that gets me that upgrade, then I chop 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5th one, and I can go archer, warrior. That probably would have been a little bit better, but I didn't see that line. So I just took the safe option. Okay, I'm going to take 2 archers. These are going to give me a lot of control over these center villages. They're going to allow me to do some decent damage to these defense boosted warriors. That's kind of the main reason I went archery over riders here. The one advantage archers have over riders is that they don't take retaliation damage, which makes them really good at dealing with these defense boosted units and swordsmen later on. PBara getting some nice density. You know, he's got his 2 suburbs. They're all, since they're so close to his capital, they're all going to be very easy to defend. He's able to expand out south. He's definitely got a suburb over here. Let me turn off replay fog just so we can see that. Yeah, he's got a suburb right there. So he's got some very nice expansion. Doesn't have to work too hard to get it. It's going to be very easy for him to defend. And then, of course, once he gets, the second he gets Smithery up, you know, giant right here, use the monument, giant right here. It's going to be very, very strong giant pushes he's going to have on me during this game. But in the meantime, I am able to, I'm able to grab these ruins, which are nice. I'm able to sort of put some pressure on the city. I'm not going to be able to deny it just because I don't have enough units. And now you see, now I do the forestry line that I should have done last turn. But the difference is 2 stars. 2 stars is usually the difference between like being able to just completely outpace your opponents. You always want to be looking at these lines where it's like, okay, where can I squeak out 2 stars? Because that is what like makes the difference between like a good Polytopia and a bad Polytopia player in terms of like macro. It's just like a good Polytopia player is always counting those stars, 2 to 3 turns into the future, so they can barely squeeze out a couple more stars than their opponent. If you think about it, that kind of is like the difference between top tier Polytopia tribes and like low tier Polytopia tribes like Jinji. Like the difference between Imperius and Jinji is that Imperius now just has like an extra turn of tempo, right? They're able to get their capital upgraded turn 1. Whereas Jinji's, well, turn 0 technically, and Jinji's only able to get their capital upgraded turn 1, right? It's just that one turn of tempo makes such a difference, and that's just 2 stars, right? So if you're ever able just to like squeeze out those extra stars, it is such a big difference. Like there's such a big, like when you look at Imperius versus Jinji, it's like such an oppressive matchup. Imperius almost always wins just because they have that extra 2 stars of tempo at the start of the game. That Jinji just lacks. So I go forestry here. Cost me 10 stars. But I'm like, okay, this is just 5 stars. I don't need to upgrade my capital. I'm not going to be training units for my capital. So I cut everything. Might have been better to not chop here. Maybe just get the resources, but it's fine. I'm able to get this workshop up. I'm just looking at this like, I don't need vision. I got mountains for vision. I just need units on the field. So I chop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. I chop 8 forests. So forestry, instead of costing 10, basically costs 2 stars. And so I still have 10 stars. I spend 5 of them to upgrade this city, and I believe I take a warrior, because I'm looking at this like, okay, I'm going to get the archery defense bonus. It's going to be nice for sort of like attacking these warriors, and I'm going to train an archer up here. The double archers will allow me to really annihilate any of these warriors. Warriors don't go well into archers. I mean, warriors don't go well into anything. But just going to be able to deal with the defense bonuses that do make him a little bit pesky in these Vengir mirrors. And I'm like, okay, this warrior's just going to push up with the defense bonus and put some good pressure onto these center cities. Meanwhile, I'm also jump starting my eco a little bit, getting these workshops out. So yeah, I get this warrior here with the idea of, okay, we're going to send him down south, and we're going to attempt to force my opponent to address this city so that I can grab this city instead. You know, I really want to divert his focus onto defending this so I can grab this city. Because this city's lost to me, right? I'm not taking this city out of my opponent's grasp, but I can force him to spend his resources to defend this city, while that will leave this city unguarded so I can just take it. This village unguarded so I can take it. And so he takes out my warrior here. Was that the right play? This warrior wasn't really doing much. All it really did was help deny this city here. Oh, I guess, because if he didn't leave it alone, I'd get this nice siege on this city. So that probably was the correct play. So he leaves the city completely unguarded to me, and that's going to allow me to just take over the city here with this warriors I've got standing over here. Do I have any warriors? I don't actually have any warriors standing over here. So he just kind of blind guessed that. Let me turn off replay fog here. Yeah. He doesn't have vision, so, I mean, this actually worked out really well for him then. So yeah, he denies me from being able to take this city out of his hands. But I am looking at this. I'm like, okay, well, he's only got 1 warrior here, so I am actually going to be able to take this ruin from my opponent. And then you see these forages already coming into play. It's just kind of like the power between like Jin with like good mountains versus Jin without good mountains. He's going to have 16 stars per turn. I only have 9 stars per turn. Yeah, it's just that getting that monument out. Oh my god, it's so strong. So yeah, gets his giant out, pretty standard stuff. Gets the 5 resources. It can place a forage right here, get another 5 resources. Just really catapult your eco. Kind of what Jinji just wants to always do. He's got another good line. He can just train a warrior, grab this lighthouse, and then get another giant on his capital. I get a swordman here, which is going to be very handy taking this city down here. Able to kill this warrior, chop another forest, take organization. Did organization cost that much? What was I needing that star for? Cost 7. Oh, but I wanted to train a. What did I want to? How much did I chop? Okay, I chop 1, take org. Do I train a warrior? I trained a archer. What's the math here? Okay, train an archer, go down to 6. Chop this, go up to 7. Okay, yep, get organization. Then I'm able to cap this so that orc doesn't have an increased cost. So, I was looking at my opponent's score jump here. It's like, okay, yeah, he got his giants out. I'm just going to have to go full army into giants, which is a very tricky Polytopia mid-game. But I do have archers. Archers go well into giants, and they go okay into swords. If you're able to position your swords properly, you can just kind of chop apart archers. Get another vet sword. This is such a clutch vet sword. It puts so much pressure onto this city. It diverts so much pressure off of this city. It just allows me to expand out westward. Very strong. It's gonna give me the combat prowess I need to actually deal with these swordsmen very well. Because archers and swordsmen are a wonderful combo. They deal with everything. They deal with defenders. They deal with swordsmen. They deal with giants. They deal with riders. Very strong combo to have. Of course, I can't train swordsmen, but these vet swordsmen still fill the role of having swordsmen. And so I take orc here. I'm like, okay, I need to get my pop cap up if I'm going to win this game. Just need to have a decent population so I can just keep spamming these archers and keep denying my opponent. I just need a very strong army to try to choke my opponent out here before their giants just come in and destroy my board. Yeah, kind of an important concept to know in Polytopia, and I'm sure you've heard Goalie talk about this, is how pretty much unsupported giants are... Let me make sure my microphone's working. Okay, yeah, we're still going. Oh my god, I forgot about the skull. Important concept in Polytopia is unsupported giants don't really do much. Giants need like at least one unit with them in order to actually do decent damage to like take over cities. So if you are like, you don't need to match giants with giants if you're able to kill the surrounding army around them. Easier said than done. But when you're playing these games, you're like, okay, my opponent's beating me in eco and I just need to go full army. It's kind of something you always do with Vengir. It's like, okay, where's that going? Yeah, if you're just trying to beat your opponent's eco, right? Your opponent's going to have a lot of giants, but their army might be weaker than yours just because if you amass such an army over the turns. If you're able to just deny all of their units, those giants will just kind of move into your lines and do nothing. And so here we see this vet sword really come in clutch. Yeah, it's 2 archer hits plus a sword hit. Takes out any 3 defense unit. Able to deny some more units over here. So now this giant is sitting alone. If he wants to be able to attack this city, he's going to need to train units from over here. My archers are also in range to attack this city over here. So he's just kind of a tough spot over here where even though he has this giant, I'm going to be able to do some decent damage before he really gets in to do a lot of damage. So yeah, he's got two giants. PBara's got 2 giants, a much better economy than me. Well, not too crazy of an economy. 6 extra stars per turn is a lot of stars though. But I've got this. I'm able to just delay him here, so I'm able to actually expand out eastward here, expand out westward here. So it's looking to be hello. It's looking to be an interesting mid game. PBara takes a huge hit on archery here. Costs him 12 stars because he's grabbed a lot of cities. But I think it's the... I don't know if I agree with archery here. Like his idea is like, okay, I have a better economy than my opponent, and I'm going to have a higher pop density than my opponent, so I'm just going to be able to make more archers than my opponent. But the issue is I'm already sort of starting to expand so much over the map. It's gonna be difficult for these archers to overwhelm my archers, especially when it comes to attacking. Archers are not the strongest attacking unit. They lack the movement of riders that make riders so oppressive. So they're really more of a defensive unit. I mean, they outclass warriors, of course, which is why we see them used to attack city positions so much, and they don't take retaliation damage, which makes them a very basic siege unit. But just like their lack of movement makes them kind of tricky to push fronts with by themselves. So what I'm trying to say here is I think I would have preferred to see, if I was playing PBara here, I'm like, okay, my opponent's got a core of archers they chopped all of their forests, which means they don't have any giant potential in these center cities. I can just go riders and completely overwhelm them. You know, if he just went riders here, he's like, okay, if he goes riders, they move twice, which means they're really good for expanding out west and out eastwards, where he sees that like, I clearly haven't expanded to yet. And riders just completely destroy, they completely destroy archers. Archers only have one defense like riders. But the thing is, riders can hit the archers, and then they can move out of way so they don't take that retaliation damage. So yeah, I think archery was actually probably the biggest mistake my opponent made this game. Like, it works out fine. You can go archery to face archery. It's just, I think when... Like, the main reason a Jinji player might be hesitant to go riders is that riders just don't go well into giants. Whereas archers do really well. If, like, archers get in place, they can just completely tear giants to shreds. So I think that's probably his reasoning behind it. I see he goes archery here. Off of this defense bonus up here. Very important to see stuff like this. Just always like notice the little details in your opponent's positions. So I finally go mining. I'm like, okay, he's got these giants. I've got some stars to spend and some more forest to chop over here. So I might as well try to upgrade my capital, get some more pop cap, get some more stars. And I'm mainly looking down here in this south city with mining. It's like, okay, I got these mines. I have forestry. I have all these resources. It's going to be very useful to just get these mines out so I can actually make my first giant in Bupo and delay this giant for a turn or two. And another thing I do is I chop this forest so that giant doesn't get that defense bonus, so that when he does step onto this or this tile, I am going to get about 3 archer hits for free, which... It only takes 10 archer hits to kill a giant. I mean, that's not that much. That's like 3 archers will kill a giant in 3 to 4ish turns, you know. And that's kind of what we mean when we say, or kind of what I mean when I say like giants undefended, giants unsupported, just kind of get pelted to death. So yeah, I'm just putting a little bit of damage. Just keep training the archer stream, just so like I have sort of just this oppressive line to deal with these 2 giants. And we see our opponent doesn't quite get the giant just yet. He's going for that lighthouse idea that we discussed earlier. Pushes the giant up. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna kill this vet sword. I have this warrior here. Very strong, but I'm gonna take my first giant here anyways, so... I actually don't think I take my first giant yet. I think I'm just more busy on... Let's deny this giant its ability to step on this mine and prevent my capital from upgrading, or my center city from upgrading. Just getting like the resources up here over here, just so I can match my opponent's eco. And so we actually see for the first time my eco ellipsing my opponent's. Yeah, kind of a thing in POLYTOPIA is it's a lot easier to get. You get a lot more economy from just having cities, just because of like how like quick you gain stars off of workshops, how cheap it is to upgrade cities those first couple levels, and they are balanced by the fact that my tech cost is crazy expensive compared to my opponent's. Right, my opponent's techs cost a lot less stars than mine. Like my tier 3 techs cost 25 stars, his only costs 16. So this, let me, where's I going? Yeah, so I don't know, I'm just taking grabbing all these cities, just because my opponent's been so busy kind of focusing on getting his giants out and grabbing these cities. I'm just going to expand out west where you haven't reached yet. I should have actually gone resources here. Do I go resources here? I do actually go resources here. Never mind, I did well. Basic workshop. So now I'm able to sort of at least have some sort of economy so I can go into a later game against my opponent. I spot this crazy line. I'm like, okay, if Giant kills Archer here, I have more than enough archers to just completely pelter it and kill it. And then I also want to step on this mountain so I can deny my opponent the defense bonus on this city. And he doesn't have enough damage to actually kill this. He doesn't have enough archers in position, doesn't have enough units in position to kill this vet sword. And so he takes a lot of damage. I don't know if I agree with this at all. He takes so much damage whacking the sword. He takes 7. That's a lot of damage onto a giant. He's just kind of got this giant right here. He's been too afraid to push it up. I really think he should have pushed it up to try to get this attack where it's like even if you lose both of your giants, you might be able to rip a city from me, and if you can do that, it'll put you in a good spot. Did he get an explorer rune? Where'd this explorer come from? Oh, he does get an explorer rune. It goes backwards. That's kind of unfortunate. It is his fault for not shaping the explorer at all. So the explorer is going to do literally nothing. I mean, it gets him extra tempo on this rune, but not that helpful otherwise. We see our opponent go forestry, doing some nice chop strats to get these archers into position, get his economy, so that for this brief moment when I had more stars than my opponent, now my opponent's already matched that. And of course his techs are cheaper, and of course he has giants. That's kind of like the dilemma of like just having these high-level cities versus a very wide. It's a very tall build versus a very wide build, just due to like how our spawns, like what our spawns force us to do. Like I was forced to go wide because my capital was so far away from all of my suburbs, and he was able to go. I mean, he wasn't forced to go tall, but he definitely should have gone tall just because of like he's got all these wonderful forge spots. Was that the right micro? Here we're getting into kind of like the forest of like the dark forest of just like all this like complicated micro. I'm looking to finally get rid of this giant, alleviate the pressure that's been on the city for so long, keep training units. Do I train a warrior here? Because if I train a warrior, the city can get sieged, but it also means that my archers don't get hit. But I also really need the stars. So I don't know if I do train a warrior there. Maybe an archer would be better just because it does a little bit of retaliation. Oh, I get my giant. That actually makes perfect sense. And then do I just like monument for 5 stars? Yeah, okay. Monument for 5 stars, get some more units out. Just really trying to not lose this. If I don't have these constant attacks going on where I'm forcing my opponent to go into army, they will just crush me just because their tech shot costs are going to be a lot cheaper, and their cities are all way more centralized than my cities, you know? If I train an archer over here, it doesn't get in position to actually help me win the game until 1, 2, 3-ish to 4 turns. Like, especially on like these cities over here, like 1, 2, 3, it takes like 4 turns to even get the archer. So you gotta train the archer, so that's 1 turn. 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns. It's not really worth training because in 5 turns, who knows if that archer's still gonna be even useful. Just if like your opponent gets knights or something, or if they switch into riders. So do get this giant. This giant's gonna allow me to defend these 2 archers here. I believe that was the idea. It's like, okay, the swordman can get these archer kills, but then I can immediately follow up with like, okay, archer steps back, kill the sword instantly. Get the 5 stars. Also set up giant up here pretty nice. Just keep the momentum I got going. Just try to deny my opponent any chance to get any more cities. Pretty standard Jinji middle game here. I think Jinji has the most fun middle game out of any tribe in Polytopia when it comes to mirror matches. Just because like you can go into riding, you can go into archery, and you can go into smithery, and all of those are like valid technologies you can take, which just makes for a really diverse middle game. You can also go into catapults with Jinji. I've seen me and my Esther have done quite a few Jinji mirror games. And it's like in 2 of them, he just completely crushed me with catapults, which you normally can't. Catapults you normally can't spam, But if like you're really good at spacing your units, utilizing your catapults, utilizing your like zone of control, like catapults can be just a very valid, very oppressive strategy to go for on these Jinji mirrors. So yeah, he starts really for the first time converting his entire economy into units to sort of just match my army. And I have a lot of stars. I'm making 34 stars per turn. I'm doing pretty good. Technologies, of course, are a lot more expensive, so that kind of offsets the star advantage I have. But like when I have pop open, I should be training units because I have a good amount of stars that can go into that. Get a nice vet sword siege on this. Any 2 attacks, like level 2 attacks, like you see how like archers and warriors have 2 attack. Anytime you can just stack those, you can get a sword hit to kill. So I get a nice siege there. That'll also deny some stars from my opponents. And here is actually some interesting micro. When your opponent is going archer, when you're having like an archery fight, and you guys both have these long lines of archers, it's actually better to not go for the kill on these archers. Just hitting each archer individually takes out way more combat prowess. Because these like 5 HP archers only deal, some of them only deal 2 damage. Like this one could deal 4 damage, but then like it gets brought down to 3 HP, and then you just win the engagement if you just hit each one individually. Whereas if like you're like killing and killing and killing, they still have like 3 to 4 archers which are at full HP. I actually learned these a lot from some bullet games I did with Reaper. Rest in peace. He's not dead, but I think he's just quit POLYTOPIA for the foreseeable future. I don't think he's coming back. So thank you, Reaper, for those bullet games. I wonder if I got those replays saved somewhere. But we did a lot of Jinji Mirror bullet games where it's like when you just go archery a lot of the time, just because like it's so confined, the archers can outspace riders just by like getting warriors defense bonuses and giants just like pushing up the line. So yeah, when you have these big long archer lines, it can be beneficial a lot of the time just to not go for the kill and put a lot of damage on these archers. Because another thing is it also makes it difficult to space your units to actually get like decent attacks in. If like you have like archers in the back line here, right? It's like, well, what are you going to do with these archers? Am I just going to push them all the way up so that these backline archers can push in? It just creates a lot of problems for your opponent when you don't actually kill the units and just bring them down low. And if they choose to heal, even then it's kind of beneficial for you because then you still keep the tempo up. You know, it's like they might heal all the damage that you dealt to them, but now you can really kind of push in your archers again anyways, and get some kills. Kind of a sucky ruin for my opponent down here. These backline sword mid game, that's not going to do that much. What's happening here? Okay, gets that kill. Starts getting his archers in. And as you can see here, like he's only really able to kill in this entire line of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers. He's only able to secure, 3 kills on my line. Plus, I even get the kill on this 2 HP archer. So this archer gets itself killed anyways. I don't have to divert an entire archer on my turn to get this archer killed. And he's taking retaliation damage on a lot of this too. So now his archers are even weaker than they were. Another thing is that these injured archers they don't do that much damage to the giants. Like, that 1 point of damage does make a big difference. And he's not able to unsiege the city. He will get it back later just because he's got a lot more board presence over here. When we start seeing me get my, I believe my 2nd giant this game, he's on his, because he had the original one, he's on his 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th giant of the game. I'm getting my 2nd and my 3rd up here. What is this line? Is it just 1 archer kill? Yeah, that's fine. Get the defense bonus. Typically, you don't want to push into your opponent's giants, but when you have the defense bonus, it can be good. it's so scary pushing giants into archer lines, but sometimes, right, you just gotta be like, okay, I'm fine with this giant getting hit 17 times if it means my opponent's archers are not hitting my archers. Start doing some damage to this guy. This guy's really putting a lot of pressure on this city. This is a very scary engagement here. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 archers in the field. It only takes 10 archer hits to kill it, and it's already taken 2 hits. Plus we got this guy up here. I have barely enough damage to kill this giant if it does decide to go in. Plus this guy, now I really do have enough damage to kill this giant. So if it steps in, it's gonna be in trouble. We see our opponent, kind of a crazy line here, riding roads to kill 1 archer. This will allow him to take this ruin, and it'll force me to divert some of my army over here. And I also think this play allows him to grab this city from me. But that was, you know, 9 stars plus 14, that's 23 stars, plus the road. That's 30 stars just down the drain for this play. That is something you gotta realize. It's like, okay, yeah, you're getting good. You're getting these kills, right? You're getting 2 archer kills. You're going to be able to rip this city from me because I'm not able to support it and defend Liga with you attacking with your giant at the same time. That was a mouthful. But that money could have gotten you 30 stars. Like 9 of that, grab riding. And then grab 1, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. You could have gotten 5 riders. And those riders would rip my army to shreds. You know, I don't have the tools to deal with riders right now. Especially for me, it's so difficult to change my strategy up just because I have so many cities. Like level 3 techs cost 34 stars. Even cheap techs cost a lot of stars. You do actually see me going riding here. I'm like, okay, I want to get these units, these backline cities, into the field, and I don't want to train archers here because archers take, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns to even become useful. Riders have 2 movement, you know. Riders go 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, they're in the fray. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, they're in the play from training them. Riders are a lot more adaptable than archers are. So you see me pick up riding, start trying to go for these riders, and of course I'm gonna want roads later on because roads just make your army shine in Polytopia. They give your archers 2 movement. I mean, that makes them absolute menaces. They give your riders 4 movement. That's what makes riders the most impressive unit in the game. Not to mention the population you get from Bazaar and just from like capital connections. Very strong technology. And another thing is that riders go really well into archers, which that seems to be my opponent's entire strategy right now. It's just train a lot of archers to kind of crush my archer army. You see these giants putting in a lot of work. These injured archers take out my archer front line. But like it still takes them a while to actually do any decent damage just because they're so injured. And so in this position, things look really good for my opponent. If he's able to rip any of these 2 center cities from me, my entire position just crumbles. Like if he grabs this city, he can just like forge immediately, grab more giants, just keep his archer lines going up, you know. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities to my... I have a lot more cities than him. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cities. But like, all of his cities will be connected, so it'll make his army a lot tighter than mine. His army a lot more effective than mine. The position does look decent for my opponent, and he's not too far behind in stars. I mean, he is 10 stars. That is a significant amount. But still... if I ever try to go technologies, he's ahead of me in technologies, and if I ever try to make up that technology difference, it's going to cost me a turn or 2. And a turn or 2 in Polytopia is usually the difference between winning and losing. And then I'm looking at this position, I'm like, oh god, my giant's dead. He's got this siege here, he's got a siege on Boo next turn. Very rough position for me. I do get this nice little... I get this nice little lighthouse. And I have just enough archers that I've been training. I am forced, yes, I remember this line. I'm actually forced to go archery here to deal with this. If my opponent just looked a little deeper into the lines, he could have actually taken this out and removed these archers from stopping this city from getting sieged. So I go riders. to deny this city from getting killed, or Rhodes. And now I bit the bullet on Rhodes. You know, it cost me 24 stars, but now I have Rhodes permanently for the rest of the game. That's gonna really seriously upgrade my army. And so I try to train as many units as I can, which is only 3, because I've spent all my stars on researching roads and making 2 roads. It's cost me 30 stars. We see our opponent starting to utilize his riders. Moves out west and finally discovers, oh, I've expanded all the way out east already. I've expanded all the way out west already. It's fallen, as an Austrian child once said to me. It's fallen to Gortron. Gets a nice little veteran here. That's kind of a mistake on my part. Should have seen that. And then he gets this giant kill, but before I let my giant die, I'm like, okay, this giant's dead no matter what it does. That's 10 damage. That's 3 archer hits, you know? That means that to get this giant out of here, it only takes, 7 archer hits now. That's 3, 6, 9. Like, that's almost 4 archer hits. So I'm like, okay, I can just kill this giant now to defend it. So even though I'm losing a giant, you know, this giant did do its dues. It did put decent damage on another giant. It killed a swordsman. It prevented his army from pushing in. This giant, it's gonna die, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It did do a lot of work. So see my opponent trying to deal with my board a little bit. And he goes trade. I actually completely disagree with this. I think that's a very big blunder. Trade is a very overpowered technology. You know, it changes your stars per turn from like 30 to 60 in the blink of an eye, especially when you have all these forge spots. But in this position, you can't be idling, right? Researching trade costs you 30 stars. It's going to take you, 2 to 3 turns for it to pay itself off. In this position, you need to be ripping cities from me right now, because if you don't end up taking cities from me, my position is going to finally stabilize. I'm going to get all my roads up. I'm going to get all my riders up, and I'm going to just completely just like hammer down on your position, because you only have 5 cities. I have 10 cities. So in this position, he goes trade. I think it would have been a lot stronger. Save up for free spirit, just get another wave of units coming in, and then next turn, get some knights out so you can really start to punish my archer lines. But my opponent does not do this. This position looks almost won from his position, right? He's like, okay, I'm going to rip this city from my opponent. I have a decent chance of ripping one of these 2 cities from my opponent. It looks like he's won the game here, right? He takes either of these 2 cities, my entire position just crumbles. I'm not really able, even though I have this massive city advantage, all of my cities are cap locked. He has a much higher cap potential than I do. All of his cities are a lot more closer than my cities are. If he rips one of these 2 cities, my whole position just kind of crumbles. But in this position, my opponent made one massive blunder. Can you spot it? Give you a sec. I'm doing like the whole little Gotham chess bit where like you wait. So can you spot the issue that this 1700 elo made? Use 1700 elo. Well, I don't know if I can check that in the game. I don't want to exit the review because then I have to move all the way back. I'm gonna tell you what my opponent did. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna let you watch. Let me just full vision ahead. 2 giants sieging. This city's getting sieged. What happens? Also gets his markets up. Goes up to 40 stars. I have 28 stars because my 2 cities that make all of my stars per turn are being sieged. did the Houdini! Yeah, he completely stacked. He completely stacked the city. He completely blocked the place for his giant to escape in the case of a giant boost. And so I hit him with the most devastating move in POLYTOPIA. The Houdini. I poofed his giant. It's gone. He's nothing. 40 HP. He's dead. I don't gotta do anything. And I have my own giant. Yeah, Gate of Power plus Bizarre. Meditation Rune did not help me. I'm able to, of course, easily deal with this because these archers don't need to kill this giant anymore. They can send all their damage into this guy. They just need to be in position. So my riders get in, my archers get in, very, very strong. And then I spend all of my stars on roads. And now I have roads that are connecting all my cities up, so my troops are going to get into position a lot faster too. And I'm able to completely punish this micro. And that giant's out of here. Get out of here. You're done. And then these archers, they didn't have to shoot a giant. They could just shoot all these archers and get all this damage. Now these archers are chopped. In this position, I was fearing one thing above all else. I was fearing my opponent would go knights, which if he went knights, you know, instead of trade last turn, he'd have a knight this turn and probably a knight over here, and he could absolutely punish me unit blocking. You know, he could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archer kills, put 7 damage on the giant. That would have been absolutely devastating. But instead, he got greedy and he went for trade too early. He went for trade in a position where he needed to win. So now all of his siege, well, 2 of his sieges completely flubbed. I now have completely retaken priority over here. I'm not completely retaken. He's still got a very decent archer line. And I am actually losing this north city up here, and I'm going to lose this east city over here. But I've re-secured the center. All those injured. It took 5 archers to kill out 1 swordsman. He goes. This is a total troll. What are you doing with philosophy? What are you doing? I get you got a meditation rune. Did he get a meditation rune? Both of us had meditation. I don't know. No, does he? Oh, he does get a meditation rune. And he's just like, oh, I'm going philosophy. Do. 19 stars down the drain. I'm never gonna see any tech discount. Cause you're not gonna make up 19 stars off the tech discount off of philosophy. You gotta go free spirit, chivalry, and mathematics. That's like 7 turns down the line. You're not getting any discount. So the only reason you go philosophy here is to go mindbenders. And mindbenders, like, they can be useful. Don't get me wrong. I'm mindbender supporter number 1, but they kind of suck. So he takes instead of going knights, 39 stars. He can go, I actually don't know if he could go into knights because that costs 23. That's 13. 13 plus 20. That's 33 plus 8. He actually can't go knights. I mean, I guess he can chop some forests. No, he's got no forest to chop. I guess he could refund a giant. That's something I would do. I don't expect a sane person to actually refund a giant in this position. So he goes philosophy for the immediate mindbender and unit combo. He's able to mop up this army a little nice, but his whole line is still injured. And I've got a strong center now. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities to my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cities. I will lose the cities, so it'll be 7 cities to 9 cities. But my core, he's lost his entire attack on the center. And so from this position, it's just going to be very, very difficult for him to back up or to get back any sort of priority attack that he had before. And all this could have been avoided if he just left a spot open to prevent the Houdini. If he just took this city, Ligu, from me, this game would have gone on for like another 20 or so turns, you know? It would have been a lot difficult for me to bounce back like I am here. So now I'm really afraid of knights because I watched my opponent. I was taking screenshots of my phone every round. I was like, of the score. I was like, oh my god, his score jumped by like 700 this turn. He 100% took knights. He 100%, yeah, I saw meditation plus philosophy. I saw the 500 point jump plus another 100 points. I'm like, oh, he took like knights and trained a knight and then archers, and that's what I'm seeing. But then I saw this position, oh, he's got a mindbender. Maybe, where did he get a mindbender from? I sent him an image in the 1v1 group chat, 1v1 league group chat. What are you doing? So he goes mathematics to get more giants. Oh, he border growths here to deny my roads, which is actually very strong. And then now I have riders in this position, not archers, so it's going to be difficult for me to get any sort of push on this city, because I can hit this giant all day long. Giant can heal itself for 4 HP, and then Mindbender can heal itself for 4 HP. So I deal 13 damage, but I take 8, and then 8 of the 13 damage is denied, so that's what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I only deal 5 damage, and I take 8 in return, so he's just going to heal, and then also he has the archers, and then also he has the, he has all the terrain blocking me. So this city's decently defended. You see him trying to deal with my giants in the middle, using his archers. Archers are a much better defensive unit, so it is going to allow him to defend this area a little bit. But now we're really seeing roads pay off. You know, I'm able to go archer hit here, road in a warrior here, road in an archer there, mop up these injured archers that I shot 8 turns ago, who just haven't had the time to heal in this position. Just put a lot of pressure on this position. Just keep training riders, trying to space out my riders in case if he does have a knight, although in this position I finally see, oh, my opponent actually doesn't have any knights. He goes strategy here. I don't know what the idea was. Like, you have the discounts, you know, you could. Knights cost, technology only costs, since you took philosophy, the technology only costs 26 stars plus another 8. Like, you can spawn 2 knights here, knight here, and I get, like, I know your opponent can, like, back up in a way so that you don't take any damage, but shields are kind of just giving up the game when your opponent has archers, you know? It's just giving up all priority over, like, attack. Especially when you have, like, swordsmen anyway, which do what shields do, but better. Still able to train out some giants, get some decent units out. But we're looking at the end of the game here. I've finally stabilized my positions. I have roads, I have units. I'm finally able to attack my opponent for the first time this game. Get those veterans in, deal with his giants over here. Still got another giant coming in to help push this front. My riders are taking out all of his archers. I have a giant up here. That giant's going to require quite a few hits, and all these archers have been injured over the course of this game. And so he's able to prevent this siege, but I still had a veteran rider, and he can hit this. He can hit this rider for 7, but he does not have enough damage to unsiege that middle city, and that, of course, is the end of the game. He's lost his position in the east. He's going to lose his city in the west. The whole position is just collapsing in on him. He doesn't have knights to deal with all these stacked units, and that will be the end of the game. This was a super fun game. I should mention the turn format was 24 hours, so both of us were spending quite a few times looking at positions. Super, super fun game. Very happy to get a win on PBara. He's a pretty good opponent. I was so happy that I was able to convert such a bad spawn into a win. PBara was like, your spawn was not bad. Your spawn was good because you're able to go archery. But I was like, I honestly felt like my spawn was way, way worse than his. We're gonna go all the way down to the beginning. Like, just looking at this cursory glance, level 3 forge, level 3 forge, level 2 forge, double suburb, triple suburb, mining right there. You could probably expand over here if you just like expanded properly and like grabbed this city. You should be able to win that city if you just go riders or something. I have on my side a mountain, no mountains in my middle cities, no mountains over here. I have one suburb. It's north, away from the center, so it's not really that good of a suburb. You know, like his suburbs actually put pressure on nearby cities that he can take. My only suburb puts pressure on nothing. So these cities are the closest things that will do, and they're all a tile away, which means they take forever to walk to. And they don't have mountains, which means I can't upgrade them with mining. They can't share forge spots with my capital. And only one of them also has enough animals on it to get an upgrade. So yeah, I definitely had a better spawn than I did. He just needed to go riding. Just go riding and destroy my position. Don't go like riders. Don't go smithery like you did. Just take mining. You know, get the workshops, then get riders out so you can like deny my archery plays, and then go into your giants once I start bringing out riders. Because giants don't counter. I mean, giants don't counter archers. They counter riders, and riders counter archers. Take the riders. Put a lot of pressure on me. It'll let you expand out west. Possibly even beat me to this city right here. Definitely allow you to get this city pretty quick. And just put so much pressure on my archers. But no, he chose to go full smithery, which I don't blame him. Look at these forge spots. Most players don't know how to play against giants. Most players just crumple the second you have like 3 or 4 giant advantage on them. All right. Oh my god, I missed my event I was gonna hit today. That's actually a total bummer. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, just trying to do some more, trying to post some Polytopia videos of like high level Polytopia competition, because there isn't really a lot in like the competitive scene being posted right now. Like there's Justini Linguini with Poly Titans. I need to talk to Chris about doing Poly Titans. That looks like fun. There's not really anything on the 1v1 league. There's not. I mean, I guess there's like Polychamps does have like its own marketing that like does videos and stuff, but I don't know. I'm looking to post some of my Polychamps games this season once they wrap up. I still got 3 ongoing. And then I have the one I lost. I don't know if I'll do a video on that one. It was so sad. It was so sad. My teammate night chained me after I laid out the entire microplan. But yeah, maybe I'll do some Polychamps games later. I don't think I have any more from the 1v1. This is kind of like my standout 1v1 league game. I had a game against Skrelder, but that game was just kind of chalk. He just didn't get he just had a bad spawn. He had like a spawn that I had in this position, and he wasn't able to convert it since he went riding. And I had like a position like PBara had, not quite as cracked as his position. But I was able to go riding and just kind of outflank my opponent and get a lot of center control before he did. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I Didn't make it. I didn't make Polytopia Worlds. I'm so bummed out about that. Although I only did like 2 qualifiers, so that's definitely my fault for not doing enough of those tournaments to actually qualify for all the events. There's always next year if Mijuan does it next year. Yeah, I just got completely drowned out by finals this semester. Oh, this semester has been a doozy in college. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the Gortron YouTube channel. I'm trying to make some more videos. It's pretty fun. But yeah, that's all. Have a good one.